Hello and welcome to the Catholic Geek. I first of all want to apologize for the extended hiatus I've been on. I've just had a lot of stuff going on personally and family and stuff like that, and it's unavoidable when these things happen, so I apologize for the delay. I don't have much of an update for the Digimon X right now. I'm sure a few other guys online have been keeping y'all up to date with those, so I'd encourage y'all to watch those right now. The only update I can give you is that my guy's died on me. Oh, he's got a battery change. He needs a battery change. I was trying for Platinum Numamon, and I think I made a mistake somewhere, and they just didn't Digivolve, and they just died without going to Platinum Numamon. So I focused a little bit on these for a while, and I have been steadily doing a few things. I know we got Beelzemon Blaster Mode in this one, and I eventually got Dukemon in this one, so I got both mascots. But right now, to give y'all a little bit of fodder, I guess, I'm going to do the one thing I've been trying to work on for like 3 or 4 weeks now, and that is to create Imperial Dramon Paladin mode. So it took me a lot of oh yeah, that one died. It took me a lot of trial and error to get certain things, because this one I can actually get Omnimon really easy. Or this one I can get, is it this one? Yeah, this one I can get Omnimon really easy, because there's a Digi-Egg that just gives me Agumon and Gabumon and their lines easily. This one, not so much. I can get both of Metal Garurumon and War Greymon, but I have to follow specific paths, including Jogressing from a different device or something. So that was a little bit tedious and stuff, and I know a few times I actually failed on this one, but we finally did it. So now I have Imperial Dramon Fighter mode right here and Omegamon. So we are going to try Jogressing. So Jogress, connect. So this should hypothetically give me Imperial Dramon Paladin on both sides. Now that's important because Imperial Dramon Paladin mode is the strongest single Digimon on this device. You don't have to have them to defeat the tournament or anything, but it definitely would help. So here we go. We're going to get hopefully Imperial Dramon Paladin mode. Here we go, Imperial Dramon Paladin mode on both devices. So that's awesome. I think as of now, I have unlocked every single egg on these devices, with the exception of the Lalamon egg. And for me to do that, I have to connect it to a Wave 1 device, unfortunately. I don't have one of those, so either A, I'm going to spend some money in the somewhat near future to get one, or I'm going to contact some people I know on Discord to get a special device that's been created through a website where you can connect the DCOM, is what they call it, connect your Digivices to a web page and send in codes and whatnot and receive codes, and you can do certain battles on here and it counts as those. So I don't know if I want to cheat my way around that or if I want to spend the money to get them. There's a couple of updates involving the Digimon Digivice being released in GameStop next month. We got like 31 or 2 days now until it's released. We still don't know the details of it, but I have now seen confirmed images that they are definitely boxed copies of like these things. Not that they're X's, but that the shapes of them are like this. So they're most likely going to be actual V-Pets that you raise, similar to the Tamagotchis. From what I'm getting, they are going to be remakes of the original that was released back in, what, 96, 98, somewhere around that era. But it says there'll be some updates to them. So we still don't know what that means exactly. There's some speculation that these are actually going to be American releases of the 20th anniversary versions of those, which it would still be remakes of the originals. So it would still fall under that category. And therefore that would also allow it to have the updated battery pack, probably flash memory. And they said that, there would be some new, additions to it, so we're assuming new Digivolving lines and stuff. So it only makes sense, really, that they're the 20th anniversary releases of them. We'll just have to see, but that's a month. We do have the Tamagotchi Own coming out in August. They were actually scheduled, I think, for like 2 weeks apart, but then I think they pushed it back some. I have to actually thank DEJapan for their advertisements on it, or I'd have never known. So I will give a shout out to them. I've been following them on Twitter, so I recommend you do that. They're a great place, especially if you want to pre-order stuff. Now I'm pre-ordering this is an American device, so it's coming out in America, so I don't have to pre-order it through DEJapan, but their information for me has been like awesome. So is the Tamagotchi's own Twitter account and stuff. So my children are like, "Are you going to get me a Tamagotchi, Daddy?" You know, this is what they did to my Tamagotchi. It's all worn out. It's dead. It's all falling apart. My Gudetama here is, I don't know what that is. I didn't expect it to be alive. I guess he's not. I guess he's not alive. I guess he's just mad at me. I don't know what they did there. But I got them a Gudetama, and within 2 days it wasn't working because they were throwing it around and stuff. So my kids were asking me if I would get them one of the new Tamagotchi owns, and I said no, because aside from the fact y'all destroyed the ones I've given you, this thing is a $60 device because it's like a really upgraded device that's connectable. Unless I'm wrong, someone can correct me in the comments. It seems, I know they're connectable to each other, but it seems like there may be a way to connect them online. I could be wrong. I mean, I hope that's true. That would be awesome, especially if it's Bluetooth through the phone. That would be awesome, but they haven't released tons of details. I mean, okay, let me specify that. They've released a lot of details, just not all details, so that's going to be fun. Now, on a completely unrelated note, I'm playing through Pokemon Crystal right now on the Virtual Console, and I'm at the point where I've been given the Extreme Speed Dratini, and I am trying to soft reset it. Right now I'm at 125 soft resets, so wish me luck, guys. I'm trying to get that shiny Dratini. I mean, it's easy for me to actually have a shiny Dratini. I have quite a few of them in Pokemon Go, and I can transfer them decently easy to Let's Go Eevee. And I do have one somewhere in my game because I got the shiny Dratini in black. Is it black 2 or white 2? Whichever one you got the Dratini in. One of them gave you a Gibble, but I got the Dratini. But there's something special about doing soft resets in a Gen 2 game to try getting it. And I'm also, because this is the Virtual Console version, I'm going to try soft resetting to get the shiny Celebi as well. And I may try getting the shiny Lugia, because I don't actually have a legitimate shiny Lugia anywhere either. So I'm going to be trying that, and I might actually do a little bit of streaming on that and talking later. But I am going to again apologize for the horrible delay and the hiatus. There's been a lot of personal issues. Some of it's just my own internal struggles with my own mind and stuff, because, you know, we all have things we have to deal with from time to time. But I am going to try and start making more videos more routinely. For those of you that watch Catholic Truths, I promised I would do a Liturgy of the Hours explanation, and I guess maybe sometime in the very near future I'll try doing that. And I'm going to try getting myself back up on my schedule, where I was doing a Catholic Truths video posted on Sunday. Mondays we're going to be Ask a Catholic in Amino and on here. And then I was going to do on Amino itself was going to be the Ask a Catholic in the communities over there. And let me correct myself. I said Ask a Catholic on here. It's not Ask a Catholic on here. It's actually Catholic Truths Live, where we discuss via live stream the video that I made the day before. So I will try keeping y'all all posted on that. There's a few additions to my desk. If you haven't seen, I change it around almost every video, of course. So the devices are slightly different here. We got the X's. I got my D3s over here. But we can see Palmon here. Palmon has joined us this week. You can't see him too well behind it, but we went to St. Patrick's Cathedral in Washington, in New York City a week and a half ago, which was really awesome. I don't necessarily agree with everything that Cardinal Dolan does up there. I think he's the Cardinal. Yeah. And but the church itself is awesome. The only thing that I saw very frustrating about it was we attended the Ascension Thursday Mass. And the two things I found very frustrating was that even during the Mass, they were allowing tourists to go around the sacristy and stuff, or just tour around the whole thing during the Mass. It was very frustrating. But I did notice that during the Mass, there was a lot of security more than I saw when we went around it ourselves before Mass. I guess that's to help prevent any disturbances and stuff. But the other thing that really bothered me was, it's very common for there to be a store somewhere within a large church like that, but it's not part of the church per se. It's like normally in a little antechamber off to the side, and it's stuff that helps fund the church, and it's also where you can get things like crucifixes. I mean, this is where we got, this as well, a few other things. You know, and it's typically those are the only places you can really go locally to get certain items, especially for, you know, the Catholic home, unless you want to go way out of your way or order online. The thing that really bothered me was they had these little thing that looked so much like lottery machines off to one side, and it was a way, I think, for you to get a I think you put your money in it, and you put a penny, and I think it gave you one of those little mashed pennies that tourists like from different places. I have a few from when I was a kid. My son has a couple, but it was like very high tech and very glittery with lights and lots of blinking. It just seems so out of place, especially in a Gothic style cathedral. Honestly, I don't see why they had those on the inside right there. The little store inside's a little small for them, but surely they could have put them a little bit more towards the entranceway, or even just put them in the actual external store, because they actually have an external store as well that's connected, or that's part of the whole thing. Anyway, though, it's a beautiful building, and for those of y'all that want to know, I actually did go to the Nintendo store, or Nintendo World in DC. I keep saying DC. I went to DC not that long ago either, in Washington, and New York. There we go, in NYC. That's why I'm saying DC is NYC, in New York City. And just in case people don't want to believe that I actually went there, I got the special, see if we can see it better over here. I don't know. There you go. Statue of Liberty Pikachu, which is really fun. I love the tablet because it spells Unova or Unova, however you want to pronounce it, and there's a question mark here. And that's funny because if any of you are Pokemon fans, you know that different regions are based on real world places. So the first 4 generations of the Pokemon games are based on different parts of Japan. Then the 5th generation was based on the United States, and that's called Unova. You know, and that's why it's got that, and I love it. It's awesome. And for those that don't know, 6th generation is based on France. 7th generation is actually based on Hawaii, a very specific area. And then the Galar region coming out is based on England. And I know there's some hope that they'll actually have a dual region section of the game, because France and England are so close to each other, and sort of like how Johto and Kanto are really close to each other. There's a legitimate hope by a lot of people that there will be a crossover, but we're already getting a lot of upsetting news from Pokemon right now. For example, they're not bringing over Mega Evolution and Z moves, which is very frustrating. Honestly, I like them. I understand some people don't like them, and that's fine. And if that was the only thing they removed, I'd be perfectly fine. But the other issue is they are removing hundreds of Pokemon from the game. Now, there'll still be a national Pokedex on your system, like the equivalent of the Pokemon Bank is going to be called Pokemon Home, and there'll be a national Pokedex in that, and you can transfer everything there. But hundreds of Pokemon are being removed from the Galar region, so you cannot bring all your Pokemon over. So there are people like me who have had Pokemon all the way since the 3rd generation, the furthest back you could bring all the way up, not counting the recent Virtual Console releases. So I've had these Pokemon for like 15 plus years, or somewhere around there, 15-ish years. And it's very frustrating because this means that some of these, I mean, yeah, they're games, and so I can't say they're really my friends, but, you know, it's very frustrating to have these teams and Pokemon you've kept by your side for over a decade suddenly saying, oh no, they don't count anymore. And a lot of people are getting really mad at it. So, and the excuse they're giving does not help. They're saying that, you know, they had to do all the models, and, you know, and they didn't have the time. The problem is while they did have to build new models for the new Pokemon, from what a lot of observers have noticed, is the models for all the past Pokemon that are appearing in the game are the exact same older models from 7th generation, just refined a little bit. In other words, it's not that much hard work. I'm not a graphics artist or anything, but I do understand it is a lot easier to start with a model than it is to build one from scratch. And so their excuse in their reasoning, there's nothing there. Now, there is a legitimate hope that maybe they're just referring to the main gameplay, and then after the gameplay, there will be the ability to bring them over. But from the sounds of it, they're saying that it's just too much and they didn't have time to put that in the game. There's two problems with that. One, Pokemon fans can wait. So if they needed another couple of months to do it, that's perfectly fine. But Nintendo's giving them a deadline, so they have to follow that, stupidly enough. And this is, deadlines are the killer of games. If you give your company a deadline, an unreasonable deadline, it's going to kill your game. And I've heard some argument they're legitimately trying to destroy the Pokemon game right now so they can start everything from scratch again, which they don't have to do all this. That's just stupid. But I was saying something. I kind of went on a rant. I'm sorry, guys. Oh yeah. The other thing that they've some people are hoping is that in the future there'll be some DLC that can be downloaded that will allow you to bring over the other Pokemon. And I keep having to watch out and say Pokemon because I almost keep saying Digimon, because I've got Palmon and Patamon sitting right in front of me, and like 5, 6, 7 different Digivices. Excuse me. But we do have the Kanto map down here still. Ooh. Oh, and I got my Detective Pikachu coin. Oh yeah. Speaking of that, that was a great movie. If you haven't seen it, go see it. I would not advise taking little kids to see it, like 5 and under. My son went with me. He's almost 10, so I found that fine. It's made because there's some little bit more graphic violence in it than we would think of, and there is some mild cussing in it. Not much, nothing like F-bomb or anything, but I mean, it's real life situation type of cussing, but it's still one of those, they didn't have to throw it in there, they just did it. It's sort of like when you're watching a movie that's going really well, and then just out of the blue there's a sex scene, and it just literally, there was no reason for the sex scene to be there. It's sort of like that. But anyway, that's my little bit. But we will, after these guys are done, I may restart one of these guys. I want to start doing one of these at a time because it's just so chaotic for me to keep doing 2. I think that's part of what stressed me out a little bit over the past few weeks. Part of it, not all of it. There's a lot of other stuff going on, but these I was actually doing one at a time for the most of it. I started them off the same, but once I got to certain evolutions, I had to pause them and freeze them, so I did that. And and because of that, we have an Imperial Dramon Paladin mode that is 26 years old. So I am busy right now. So anyway, I will try to keep y'all updated, and I will start trying to get our videos back to normal. So y'all have a good one.